Wembanyama is a madman. I cannot be more excited than I am right now.
I want some nasty. Are we having fun yet?
All right, so a couple things to go over. So as you guys know, we done a video recently on Victor Wembanyama and some of the comments that he made, or a comment really is the comment that he made after losing in the Olympics. And now we have an audio clip of it, as well as Brian Whindhorst and gang giving their take on Wemby and the future of the NBA. Now, before we take a look at all that, guys, please go subscribe to Spurs Invasion. Link below. It is my second channel. Just head on over there and follow it. Just subscribe to Spurs Invasion. It is a channel in which I do edited and scripted content. I will be adding more to it soon. But yeah, go support your boy, man. We're almost at 4K, and it would mean the world to me. All right, let's go ahead and dive into this. So now that we have the actual quote and we can actually listen to Victor say it, let's take a look at that first.
The Spurs.
Oh, wait a minute. Got to put it on my ears. I always mess that up. All right, I'm gonna make sure it's playing for you guys this time, because one time I uploaded a video and you guys said it wasn't even any audio. All right.
Staffers, they talk about the currency of experience, just the things that you can put in your bank.
Yeah,
do you think you gained that from this tournament?
Nobody's going to take that from me. You know, it's I'm learning, and you know, it's I'm worried for the opponents in a couple of years.
Yeah, NBA and FIBA.
Everywhere.
Oof. So if you didn't understand him, I don't know how you didn't. He basically said, I am worried about everybody else in the next couple years, my opponents in a couple years. He said FIBA or NBA, and he said everywhere. So he's warning everyone right now, and he can actually get away with saying things like that because he's Victor Wembanyama, right? Like, he's just that good, and people know that the NBA is in trouble. I mean, we even have execs of different teams basically saying and putting on record that they're afraid of what's going to happen in the future, so they need to win now, which is crazy for your competitors to be saying that in real time, right? It's one thing for me, Spurs fans, or like talking heads to talk about that, but for your actual peers and actual team executives coming out and saying, yeah, we need to win now, they're absolutely terrified of what he's going to be. All right, so we're going to go ahead and listen to Brian Whindhorst, so from Spotify. So guys, please go check out Brian Whindhorst and the Hoop Collective. But I went to this segment right here, 26-minute mark, and they talk about Wemby for at least a few minutes. So let's listen to it, and I'll give my take as we go.
Question?
Yes, it's a good question. And Victor said, no one's going to take that from me, the experience.
He's just talking about the quote.
I'm learning, and I'm worried for the opponents in a couple years. And then Mike said, which opponents, the NBA or FIBA? And Victor said, everywhere.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so great. That's so great.
And it was hard for me to relate that in the quote, because I would have to use the report, because the quote is everywhere, and then you got to sort of set it up.
No, but that's just great.
You can call it arrogance, confidence, whatever. It ain't bragging if it's true, and it's true. And we can talk about his size, we can talk about his skill. Embracing and thriving when the lights are brightest is a talent, and there's no question he has that talent. The question is, when are the Spurs going to be able to put him in those situations?
And I just want to add, I feel like Wembanyama doesn't take anything for granted at all. There's nothing that he takes for granted. Yeah, he is tall. Yes, he is athletic. He has a lot of just natural ability, right? But he doesn't take it for granted. He makes sure that he's adding upon his game, day in and day out, which is really scary. That's what's really terrifying, because a lot of guys that are his size and are tall, they got into basketball just because somebody told them, hey, maybe you should play basketball. Like, you're really tall. And then they get into it. But he actually got into basketball because he genuinely loves the game of basketball. So we're talking about a 7'5" Michael Jordan mentality player, which is just terrifying.
A regular basis, like
he's gonna start putting himself there.
Well, they're gonna have
to. The LeBron thing is a reminder. And this is not criticism of the Spurs at all, because they're just getting started. They made a lot of smart long-term moves.
Come on.
The LeBron thing is a reminder, even though Victor's at the other end of his career, that you can't do it by yourself. So he's got to get some help, as good as he is going to be, clearly. So you got to have both.
The other thing is, Bontemps, you were talking about Victor's issues when he puts the ball on the floor.
Yes.
He was determined to put the ball on the floor against Germany in the semifinal, and it didn't go well for him. He was 4 of 17 shooting in that game. He really wanted to create off the dribble, and the Germans just were poking the ball from him. He just had a really rough.
It's a little easier spacing in the NBA though.
Game.
It went worse against him the previous game against Dylan Brooks in Canada.
You know, I didn't see a large part of that game because I was doing TV, but
I mean, it's a similar deal, inefficient, and like he's not a shooting guard, as Bontemps said last pod. Phenomenal finisher, not there as the primary initiator, and maybe
not
never
yet.
will be, and who cares?
Well, he did basically catch and shoot, make very decisive moves in the final. The first 90 seconds of the game, I think it was the first possession, the U.S. won the tip. They created a shot, and the shot went up from the right side, and Victor was on the left side of the block, and Joel was right there, and Joel boxed Victor out. Joel was going to get an offensive rebound, and the ball came off, and Victor reached right over the top of Joel's head and took it away from him. And it was like you taking it away from your sons, McMahon.
True.
He just didn't even have to jump. And Joel, when he has position, probably has never jumped in his life.
I mean, he doesn't block that often, but when he does, it's pretty effective.
And he reached up, and it got taken away from him, and he was like, "What?" He was like, "Where'd that come from?" And then they went down the court, and the ball swung around, and Victor caught it about 24 feet out. Not even hesitation. Let it fly. Bam.
You know what?
He's better when it's catch and shoot, but he's still got to learn. He hasn't even been able to work on anything, right? It's been nonstop. Okay, play basketball, play throughout the season, and then the Olympics. And obviously, he wasn't going to miss out on the Olympics. Don't get me wrong. From right now to the season, I think that he is going to make a massive jump just because he's like a sponge as far as how much information he takes in and he's able to hold and actually use on the court. So I do think that there still will be a big leap, but not as big of a leap as it could have been. But this experience of being in the Olympics in and of itself, I guess we could say, is very important, which it is. It's very important.
He took a late step back, and it was like creating off the dribble, stepping back to his right. I'm like, man, that's a terrible shot. Out of curiosity, I looked up, like, what did he shoot on step back threes last year? What do you think he shot percentage wise on step back threes?
Well, he couldn't
I'm
make.
going to guess it was something like 12%.
Well, he couldn't make any threes for the first 2 months of the season. So I don't know if you draw a line, but
46%.
Oh,
I was shocked by that.
Well, I mean, he shot 32 on them for the season. So, I mean,
the pull-ups were terrible. The step backs, actually, it was not a huge sample size. It was like,
right. Well, yeah. Well, in this tournament too, he shot 11 for 38, which is 29% on threes.
Yeah.
What I would love for Victor to do.
I need a refresher. Let's see how Wemby started off the season. In the month of October, Wembanyama shot 26% from 3. Next month in November, 27% from 3. Got better in December at 33. January, 32. February, 41. Why don't I recall that? And then 30% from March, 34. So he learned as it went on. Like, he was actually pretty decent from 3 after the first 2 months. So yeah, Brian Whindhorst is right on the money there.
For next
what did
year.
they not have on that team? A freaking point.
I know.
By the way, I would not say on balance, Victor had a quote unquote great Olympics.
He had a great opener and a great
That's
gold
right.
medal.
That's right.
And the other game, the defense, the rebound, and he struggled.
He just embraced it. He just embraced the competition. That's the good thing.
Offensively as a scorer, but he was impactful.
Yeah, I mean, the thing
that's a good word.
The thing I would love to see Victor do next year or the next couple of years is stop trying to be a guard as much and just
knock it off.
I've said this before. I think he's got a chance to be Dirk on offense and Rudy Gobert on defense, which is an insane player.
Well,
and if he just watches, and I'm
no disrespect to Rudy Gobert, but he's going to be a better defender than Rudy Gobert. No, that's crazy to say, but he can guard basically every position, which is insane. And then offensively, I think you're limiting him quite a bit. Even though Dirk was a monster, don't get me, Dirk was an absolute monster. But I think you are limiting him when you say that. I think the main thing is Wemby just needs a go-to move. I think that's kind of the main thing, and maybe that's where he's getting at here. Because at the end of the day, like, it is going to be helpful for him to have all these things in his arsenal, especially when we need a shot off, and that's the best possible shot he can get. It's going to be really helpful for him to be able to pull out any move that he wants to pull out. But right now, he definitely just needs a go-to, right? Kobe had the fadeaway. Obviously, our boy Tim Duncan had the bank. You know, you just have to have a go-to move, and everything else will come together. But don't just say, oh, he's going to be Dirk offense and Rudy Gobert defense. I feel like that's he's just too great for that. Like he's going to be better than both of those players.
Look, the dribbling could come later to me, but to me, I would be like, look,
get a go-to
play like
move.
Dirk. Learn that one-legged step fall away jumper that's unblockable, and just become a knockdown.
He's worked on that.
3-point shooter. No, I know.
Listen, I would say Dirk.
He's saying it as if like anybody can just do that. Like, I don't know. That might just not be his shot, you know? What he really needs to be saying is here, he just needs a go-to move. I mean, Dirk Nowitzki, that's a whole different thing. I mean, at that point, we just need to tell everyone, just be Dirk. Just have Dirk's fadeaway. Like, not everybody can do that all the time.
With Tyson Chandler's rolling and finishing ability.
Well, sure, that's fine too. But I just mean, Dirk was an MVP and a top 20 player of all time, and an unbelievable shooter. Like, he's still, like you said, he's taking these pull-up threes. I would like him to just become a 38 to 40% 3-point shooter, which with his form, I think he's got the capability of doing that. If he does that, forget the dribbling stuff. He's unstoppable if he does that.
The dribbling, it's like attacking closeouts and that kind of thing. Yes, like defense loaded up against you and you're just going to create.
That's what I'm saying.
But dude, as like his ability as a lob catcher.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I mean, this is all nitpicking. I mean, he's insane.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, he's completely
I'm
insane.
excited. I know Chris Paul is not, point guard that he used to be. I'm very excited to watch Victor Wembanyama with highly competent, high IQ point guard play and some decent spacing around it.
He absolutely needs a really consistent 3-point shot. And I think a lot of those dribbling moves and things in his bag will really show up once he gets a legitimate 3-point shot. Because you want those centers, you want those big men to get out there. As soon as they get out there, you're faster than basically all of them. Or you're capable of being faster than all of them off the dribble. So I think that's what they're trying to say. And then no one can stop you at the rim at that point.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
It would shock me if he's a first-team All-NBA player this year. It would not shock me at all.
There's a bold prediction.
That's not that bold, is it? I don't think that's that bold.
What's the bet? Let's go.
It's not a bet. It wouldn't shock me. I'm just saying.
Dude, I mean, honestly, that's a bold prediction.
Not that bold.
He was playing at that sort of a level.
Brian, McMahon is racing past you in the Victor
How do you do
height
that
hierarchy.
season?
When's the last time you felt this impressed by a rookie?
I know the answer.
Who?
The guy who made All-NBA second year in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luka Doncic. Yeah.
He was even more impressive. But yeah.
Yeah.
So Luka made
Look
that
at this.
leap coming off of his.
Look at this. If we're going off of him just getting better after the last 2 months of basketball, well, you can do the last 3 months if you want, but the last 2 months of basketball, he averaged 23 point. Well, in the month of March, he averaged 23 points, 3.8 blocks. I'm sorry, nearly 5 assists at 4.8, nearly 12 rebounds at 11.7, 47%. And then the last month of basketball, 25 points, 5.6 blocks over the course of 5 games. 25 points, 5.6 blocks, nearly 7 assists, and 13 rebounds. 25 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, and 6 blocks.
His rookie year, I'm not guaranteeing. I'm not betting. I bet you he'll be an All NBA player if you want to give me 3 teams.
Well, yeah, I mean that seems very likely. And the thing
That's a
Victor
gimme.
actually has going for him from that standpoint, right, is if it was under the old rules, he's probably going up against Embiid and maybe AD and Jokic and all these guys at center. Right now, you could have them all on the first team if you want. So
Of course,
from
the
that,
Spurs will just get around that anyways and call him a forward.
well, regardless, I think certainly there are more paths for that to happen. But yeah, look, the sky is ceiling is sky high for him. As Brian said, it's hard to put any ceiling on him. And now, as we get to the Tatum part of this, as you spin ahead to 28, even though the tournament's going to be here and we saw how much it helped.
I think that's it, guys. All right, let's go ahead and round this up by looking at how people reacted to his statement that he's the man. Thank you for tagging me in this. 210 baller. That's how I originally saw it. Thank you, man. Let's see. I told friend in 4 years it might be over and Wemby will ruin it. Well done. Express News should be proud. Great quote. Even better job catching it. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Sore loser. That was not a sore loser. Okay. That was not a sore loser response at all. He said, I'm still learning. You guys are in trouble for the future. That's all he said. And it makes sense, too. We went over this before, but, I mean, think about the landscape of the NBA in the next 4 years, right? In the next 4 years, don't get me wrong, we're going to have an immense amount of talent. It's only more and more talent being added to the NBA. But who killed us? Oh, my gosh. Ooh, I let that one slip. I was going for France, okay? I'll be honest. If you're on my Twitter, you know I was going for France. I was going for Wemby. I don't care. Call me a traitor, whatever. So I'm going to say us. But who killed us? Who killed us was Stephen Curry and LeBron James, and Kevin Durant, right? Like, when they needed a bucket, these three could just give you it easily. All three of those guys more than likely won't be there in 4 years. At least I'm assuming as much. And if they are there, they won't be as good as they are right now. Maybe Curry. I don't know. Curry is frustrating. Just, I don't know what else to say. But yeah, anyways, that's all I have to say. Just wanted to bring this to your attention. Big shout out to Brian Whindhorst. Big shout out to Mike Finger. And big shout out to 210 Baller for tagging me in this. And if you guys have anything you want me to go over, I always say this, but please, please, please just tag me, okay? Just, I know Twitter sucks. I know it sucks so bad. I know it has gone downhill, but at the very least, okay, when you get on there, fix your algorithm, make sure it's nothing but Spurs stuff on your algorithm and just tag me in it. You can just jump on Twitter, tag me and delete the app, okay? And then install it again and then tag me again when you see something else. But anyways, yeah, big shout out to you guys. Well, the one that's gonna hear it is 210 Baller, but big shout out to you, my boy. All right, I'll give it to you guys later. Until next time, bye.